In the previous video of the playlist, we learned how to set up a virtual environment. In this video, we will transfer the FASTAPI library to the project. We will learn how we can use our computer as a server. Then we will send a GET request to the server. So let's start. Before transferring the library to the project, make sure that the code written on the command line runs in the virtual environment. If you are in Venv, as you can see here, there is no problem. But if you are not in Venv, you should watch the previous video of the playlist. I also recommend that you watch the playlist from the beginning to make this tutorial useful for you. You can transfer the FASTAPI library by writing this code. While the installation continues, several files are transferred to the scripts file. Uvicorn file is one of them. Thanks to the Uvicorn file, we can use our computer as a server. First, I want to show you the FASTAPI website. You can find a lot of information about the FASTAPI library on this site. You can access the website from the description section of the video. There is a lot of information about the FASTAPI library on the website. I will be telling you all the details throughout this playlist. I'm copying the first code in the first steps. Let's examine this code. First, the FASTAPI library was imported. Once imported, we can now use the functions in the library. I'm synchronizing the FASTAPI function to a variable. Using this variable, I can use commands such as get, post, put and delete. We will learn all HTTP requests in detail. We're just making an introduction in this video. In this example, we will make an example of the GET request. In the following videos, we will review all HTTP requests one by one. GET request has /. When the server is online, we will make a request to the server from an IP address. The characters here represent the suffix that will come to the end of the IP address. I'm going to show it in a web browser shortly. There is an asynchronous function. This function contains the information that will be returned when any GET request reaches the server. The GET request must be made with the server IP and the suffix here. We will get the IP address when we activate the server soon. First, I would like to talk about the concepts of synchronous and asynchronous. You've probably heard of the terms asynchronous and synchronous. When an asynchronous task is running, it runs independently of other tasks. So it is not a problem for an asynchronous task whether other tasks are finished or not. But a synchronous task is dependent on other tasks. For example, function A will finish first, then function B, which is synchronous, will start running. Therefore, a synchronous operation is faster than synchronous operation. However, depending on the type of use, there are areas where both are used. At this stage, it does not matter to us whether the function is synchronous or asynchronous. You just need to know the difference. We need a server to handle API requests. Any computer can be used as a server. Therefore, you can use your computer as a server. FASTAPI library transferred a file to your computer that can make your computer a server. The name of the file is Uvicorn, as I mentioned before. The FASTAPI website explains how to activate the server. We will use the Uvicorn command in the command line. I can access the server with this IP address. But now the server is offline. So I can't access it. I will activate the server soon and I will be accessing the server from this IP address. Now let's activate the server. You can activate the server using this command. Main represents the name of the Python file. App represents the variable synchronized with the FASTAPI function. The server has become active. The IP address that will be used to access the server is shown. I'm trying to access the server again. I access the server and sent a GET request. The information in the return section has been forwarded. Notice the slash in the GET section. But I did not put a slash at the end of the IP address when making the request. So how did the return information reach me? Because slash and empty mean the same thing. If I had added a slash to the end of the IP address, I would have achieved the same result. There is no difference. The server is still active. Now let's do a few tries. Let's change the return information. Don't forget to save the code. I resubmitted the request. But the forwarded message did not change. The server must be restarted for any changes made to the code to take effect. You can take the server offline by pressing Ctrl and C at the same time. Run the unicorn code again to reactivate it. The transmitted information has been changed. I want to redo this example. The return information has been changed, but the forwarded message has not changed. The server needs to be restarted. I am doing the same thing again. To take the server offline, Ctrl and C key must be pressed at the same time. I will restart the server. The transmitted information has changed. However, restarting the server every time a change is made to the code is a problem. To solve this problem, we must start the server with reload. Thanks to the reload command, the server will be started automatically every time the code changes. Let's change the return message and save the code. As soon as it was saved, the server automatically restarted thanks to the reload command. The message conveyed has also changed. Let's do another example. After saving, the restart process started again. The message conveyed has changed. We don't need the asynchronous function at this stage. We can do the same with the synchronous function. Now let's give a different suffix instead of slash. For example, the GET request should only reach the server with the turtle code suffix. Return information is no longer received. I need the turtle code suffix to access the return information. I can access the return information by simply typing the suffix. Let's change the suffix. When the code was saved, the server was automatically restarted. I can no longer access the return information with the turtle code suffix. I can only send a GET request with the turtle suffix. I can't send a GET request without a suffix either. By making changes to the code, I can send a GET request without the suffix. Return message has been delivered. I would like to remind you again that empty and slash mean the same thing. Thanks for watching. To support us, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the video.